end 3 minutes before 2 hours.
Well, I want to hear about Chris Gore.
I'm too tired. I was all fired up.
See the thumbnail, man. You tease me with the thumbnail.
All right. Well, should we do Ben
I
Shapiro
met Chris
first?
Gore once. I don't know much about Ben Shapiro. I don't know. I mean,
well, he's the Daily Wire, and then
I know who he is, but I don't really follow him. I don't know much about. Chris Gore is a guy I used to respect. I used to have a lot of respect for Chris Gore.
I
back in the 90s, Film Threat. Yeah. He's a guy who really went off the rails.
Would you say he sold out?
I don't know.
Because
he trolled out. I don't know if I'd say sold out, but he trolled out.
Because he's, do you think he's being authentically upset, like critical and constructive criticism, or do you think he's going towards a narrative that gets easy views?
Well, he's definitely gone with the everyone is woke, women suck, gay people suck. He's definitely
he doesn't
gone down
say
that
that.
road.
No, that's not fair. He doesn't say that.
I've heard him say that.
He
complained that there were gay characters on Willow. Like, I saw him complaining that there were gay characters on Willow.
Well, you're going to get this demonetized if you keep saying that, because they're going to think we're being critical of those people. We're not.
It's pretty hard to get demonetized.
No, it's not.
I've never been demonetized.
This panel, not the whole channel, the live stream. The live stream. It'll go to limited ads. Okay, so my point of view on Chris Gore, my honest opinion is, I think he's an intelligent person. I don't think he's being authentic with his criticisms. I think he's being overly critical for profits, because he's tried to be a creative. I think he's got a big chip on his shoulder, like a lot of people in the anti-SJW community, like Ben Shapiro, that was also a screenwriter, that couldn't hack it in the industry. And so they're just over those that can't do grift. And that's my personal opinion. Now, I have no way to prove it, because everyone's going to say, are you questioning my opinion? Yes. My honest opinion of Chris Gore is he's a very intelligent person, but he saw where the trends were going, and he's riding a trend with the anti-SJW stuff. And he did make a movie in the past, and we can react to that. We're not reacting to the movie. I actually want to buy it. My big fat independent movie. It got trashed on Rotten Tomatoes, and he had one of his own people I'm not sure if he did it himself, but he had one of his, there's proof of this too. I researched it before. He had one of his own people that worked on the production review on Rotten Tomatoes. Review its own movie. So, you know how he would be first to call out shills in having conflict of interest with other critics. So I still wish him the best. I wish and I don't think he does not like certain people, like Joe suggested, but I do think he goes towards narrative, like of joking or pointing out when there are certain representation in movies for grifting funds, But here's the quick video. I still want to rent. I want to rent this movie, Joe, and then once I rent it, I'll send it to you too, so we can review it together, if that's all right.
I actually rented one of his movies,
Chris Gore,
and I didn't know he had made it, and I was very, very upset.
Well, I don't. He's not made many. He's not made many. What other movies did he make?
What was I think he made some kind of documentary recently that I didn't know.
The show. Yes.
Yes, and I rented it because I liked Attack the Show, unaware that Chris Gore was the
very
director.
agenda driven.
Yeah, and then I
very
watched
agenda
it,
driven
and
to say everything. Yes,
I was very angry that I gave Chris Gore my money for that.
Yeah, it's sort of like how they say, "Oh, these Hollywood writers haven't hit." That's why I didn't watch it, because I like.
If I had known ahead of time that he was the one who made the documentary, I wouldn't have watched it.
Because it's got like a hidden agenda there to say, because the spoiler warning for anyone that didn't watch it, it really promotes like things like Nerdrotic and stuff like, these are the next Attack of the Show.
It made me sick. It made me sick to my stomach watching him.
And it's not
all of their D's in that movie.
Yeah. It's not
a good equivalent. Like I do not think that the Nerdrotics of this world and the Geeks and Gamers are the new G4s. I don't. I think they are something else.
No, well,
I
there's
think
a difference.
people on G4 were having fun acting in skits and stuff, but I think they're more authentic than these people.
The people on G4 were actual fans, whereas the Geeks and Gamers and the Nerdrotics are, as Dane over on Actual Fandom calls them, anti-fans. They're not really fans. They're there to hate on things for money. Yeah.
So let's hear him talk about his. To be fair, in this video, he is even critical of his own film, but that's my opinion of him. Is he? He can't really hack at being a creative himself, so he's overly critical in Grifts, and I think he's kind of in my opinion, is kind of a sellout right now.
Yeah, I have no respect for him anymore.
And he goes overboard to criticize creatives. I want to do constructive criticism. Now, to be fair, some people think I'm overboard on James Gunn or Kathy Kennedy. To be fair. So I have to be fair there. All right, let's watch this. I'm sure this is why I like Xeno. I'm sure the 13 people watching here will make Chris Gore think about what he's doing. This is why I like Xeno's comments.
Well, I'm just gonna say I ran into Chris Gore at Dragon Con one year, and I went up to him and shook his hand and said I was a fan. And that was before he went down this road. But if I run into him at Dragon Con again, I'd be happy to make him think about what he's doing in a dark alley.
No, I agree. Degrassi, I agree. There's another side of the coin. I don't, overly critical of people on the other side. I don't want to be that way. I want to be more nuanced. I did not see what he said about Indy 5.
I bet he didn't like it because that's the play line for those guys.
I feel like he tries to not like things. I don't think there's a lot of authenticity there. I actually do watch. I'll be real. I do watch some of his reviews of Ahsoka not because I think they're genuine, for entertainment value. Because I feel the entertainment I get is him trying to go overboard to find things wrong with it, and I don't think he's being authentic. Now, there are things to criticize about Ahsoka, but he acts like it's the worst thing ever.
Here's the great mystery to me, and I truly don't understand this. John Campea on his show always is going after the Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotics. He'll never name them by name, but he always calls them those basement-dwelling cousin humpers. But you know who he's talking about. And he goes after them, and he goes after them hard. He has no tolerance, no respect for those guys. But he'll have Chris Gore on as a guest, and Chris Gore's on with those guys all the time.
Well, the thing is, Joe, when he had him on, he wasn't as entrenched in them as he is now.
He's had him on in the past year.
Yeah, but only the last 8 months, 6 months is Chris Gore going full blown over there. He only started appearing, and that's also when John kind of distanced himself from Robert Meyer Burnett, to be honest, around the same time.
The whole Robert Meyer Burnett Campea dynamic is weird because
I don't want to allude to anything I don't know, but I do know he was hanging out with them more, and I do know
that on the streams Campea will go after those guys hard, and Rob will be sitting right there, and then they'll cut to Rob, and he'll he won't say a word.
Right.
He won't defend those guys. He won't condemn them. He just is silent while John goes off on them. And John has to know he's friends.
That's my biggest criticism of even Robert Meyer Burnett is he has something to say about most everything and everyone except those people. Except when it's a slight defense.
I mean, he finally spoke out against Doomcock, but it took Doomcock going after him to get there. He defended Doomcock tooth and nail until Doomcock went after him.
But that's what's weird about Robert Meyer Burnett. He's not afraid to criticize others, but he will just not say anything about them, because I do think they're the most fragile on the internet. the anti-SJWs. They're extremely fragile. Okay, so let's hear what he has to say here.
I'm gonna need this. Okay, I'm gonna need this.
Okay, I don't want to.
I co-wrote and produced this film called My Big Fat Independent Movie.
Now, to be fair, I thought the trailer was kind of funny for the spoof movies, but it's not great. It's not like a good movie. Like there might be some fun you can have with it. And to his own, he admits here it's just D and fart jokes that he wrote. So is someone make something so bad that they don't have the right to criticize anything else? No, but I just want to point this out that he doesn't know how to make quality himself, in my opinion. Until I review it, I won't know for 100% sure. And then he goes out of his way to say everything's bad. And then this is the game plan that they do. The anti-SJWs and the people like Chris Gore, they find one or two instances where they praise something to point at that. Well, what about when I like that one movie?
Well, I always say they need to have a champion to counteract their whatever they're trashing. A perfect example is, and don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. I like it. I own it on Blu-ray. It's a good movie. But when Captain Marvel came out, they were overpraising Alita Battle Angel because it was hey, we don't hate women. We like this movie that's got a woman. And with Star Trek, it was the Orville. Hey, Star Trek sucks, but the Orville's great. They always have to have the thing that's like their counterpoint where it's like, we hate this, but here's the thing we like. And it's always got to be something just a little bit similar. And like over on the actual fandom channel, he pointed out how they were trashing House of the Dragon for a long time. And then they realized
I'm not hate watching him. I said I watched some of his videos for entertainment value, my own personal entertainment. I watched the ads on Chris Gore's videos for Film Threat for him and his friend going overboard on Ahsoka just to see what they have to say. And I don't think they're being 100% genuine. I don't. I think they're going out of their way. He has every right to make his money. The environment is rich for people like Chris Gore to make money. You know?
But Dane was pointing out how they all were hating on House of the Dragon until they realized it was popular and they could use that as their counterpoint to
they ride the trends. Yes.
And then they were like, Lord of the Rings sucks, but House of Dragon, but they were hating on that at first too. And then suddenly they shifted it and was like, oh no, this could be our counterpoint to Lord of the Rings, because they always have to have that.
All right, well let's watch this.
Directed by Phil Zlotarinsky. It's basically a spoof parody film of independent films. Basically, it's combines like sort of classic indie films like Clerks, Swingers, Memento, Amelie, among others, sort of combines them into one story, you know, like the spoof comedies. One thing I just didn't realize when I was making this is that the audience that really loves these movies does not like toilet humor.
So that's what he creates. Toilet humor and fart jokes.
I mean, that kind of humor does have its place.
No, I'm not against that. I'm just saying this is the guy that wants to, you know, whether you think it's authentic or not. I don't think it's authentic personally. And I would talk to him. I would talk to him anytime. Not that he wants to talk to me. It would only benefit me if he talks to me. But I would also be like my old school self, and I would like to talk to these people. I'm like, man, I used to like, to be fair, he was a little bit overly critical on Attack of the Show too. It's just now he goes even that next level to get attention, I think, in my opinion. And unfortunately, even without the anti-SJW angle, Joe, that's what that's how you make a name for yourself on YouTube. Can you name any YouTube critics that get good views that are mostly positive on things, even without the anti-SJW stance?
I think there's a few. I mean, I don't. Well, I don't. That's the thing. I don't pay attention to views, so I couldn't tell you what people's numbers are. But Campia does really well. I mean, he's not known for reviews, but he does do those.
I think he does more.
Reviews.
I think he gets more. I think he only makes his money from live streams, clip outs, and super chats, memberships. But there's like relevant reviewers that
isn't that guy? I don't.
Like,
they
actually get money based on the reviews, like Jeremy.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't really watch Jeremy Johns, but he's not like a super like negative guy, is he? I don't think he is.
Well,
maybe he is. I don't know. I don't watch him.
He skews a little negative. Like you can only enjoy this with goggles, goggle eyes, like drinking. You know, but I don't have anything personally against Jeremy Johns. I think he does too many jump cuts. I used to call him Jeremy Jump Cuts, and then my friend told me, who she was in the chat, that that he actually does that because he has ADD and to help him get the video, and I felt bad then.
Have you ever seen? I don't know her real name. The channel's called Mama's Geeky.
Yeah, she's
very positive.
Well, CJH. There's so many people in the entertainment industry that did that back in the day. I'm not saying I approve of that. I'm not going to cancel the man for that, though. If you're going to call him out for that, when he has no other context of being anything towards, there's so many people, unfortunately, that decide this might be funny back in the day. Sarah Silverman, Jimmy Kimmel. All kinds of people did that.
And I'm not defending it. I'm not saying it's okay, but people, what people accepted as humor has definitely changed.
Oh yeah, and people would laugh at that.
Like there was an episode of Gimme a Break where Joey Lawrence put on blackface, and the point of the episode was that was wrong and that he shouldn't have done that.
And then it's still stupid. Yeah,
right. But it's like there were things that you could do 20 years ago that you just can't do now.
You value your own too much, Zeno. And look what Zeno says, but here. He says he knows to stay away from crazy. Thank you, Zeno. I appreciate your support. That's why I like Zeno. Like, he gives everyone complete criticism all the time.
I gotta say, Degrassi is right.
I am.
I mean, well, here's the thing. I do movie reviews and stuff.
I'm trying to.
But you know what? There's no real movie critics like Roger and Gene anymore, or like Pauline Kael, or like the old guard.
Degrassi, you think it's all a gimmick? Even me? Did you watch my reviews? Joe gives a good review.
Wait, he didn't say it was a gimmick, did he?
He says no one on YouTube's actually a critic.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to give honest reviews.
I mean, here's the thing. I'll tell you what I like. That's the thing. I'll tell you what I like, and I'll tell you what I don't like. But I'll also never tell you don't see something. Well, that's actually not true. But
I will tell people it's not worth to run out to the theater.
Well, I mean, I'll goof
not
around.
That I want to hurt box office at all, but I'm like, for the Meg 2, I was like, ugh.
See, like I'll goof around. Like on Twitter the other day, there was an article that said like how to watch The Nun 2 at home. And I like tweeted out the screenshot and said, don't watch it at home. Don't watch it in a theater. Don't watch it on a boat. Don't watch it with a goat. Don't watch it here or there. Don't watch it anywhere. But the truth is, if you want to see The Nun 2, go see The Nun 2.
I am actually going to buy it. Will you do a joint review with me if you don't have to buy it, if I send it to you to review?
The Nun 2?
No, my big fat independent movie.
Oh, yeah, sure, I guess.
I got to send you something else with it, too. You've got me some VHS tips. All right, let's see what else he has to say here.
Fart jokes. So, at the end of the day, while I think that there's some valid jokes in this, there's actually there's some funny stuff. I give myself like maybe a C+, C- on the making of this film. It's a movie I did when I actually just started at G4 and Attack of the Show. This film was kind of, it hit the festival circuit and was about to come out on DVD. And little did I know that my then career at Attack of the Show would take off. And
okay, so he kind of suggests here that his first plan was to be a writer at least. for movies in the industry. When you look at his, in my opinion, over criticizing the whole industry, please keep that in mind. That was his first plan, was to be a creative himself. And then he took off on Attack the Show. I want to go back and watch his reviews on Attack the Show to see if he overdid it then too. If maybe I have rose tinted glasses on.
I'm sorry about my short attention span, but Degrassi's got me wanting to talk about this amazing episode of Different Strokes where Mr. Carlson was the bike man.
Let me see what Rhea is saying. I like hearing the peanut gallery reviews of films. It's better than just hearing people in real life only see something as good or bad without any discourse. I could agree with that.
Wait. Hang on a second. Hang on. Degraci says you can never get away with Blair's cousin Jerry today. I'm not sure what that means. Blair's cousin Jerry was disabled. She had what was it? Not Parkinson's. Geez, I just was watching an interview with that actress, Jerry Jewell, not too long ago, and I'm forgetting her condition. But I don't see why you couldn't do an episode with a disabled person today. If anything, I think it would be more. There you go, multiple sclerosis. Thank you. I think that you could definitely do that. I mean, it was celebrating diversity. It was spotlighting someone who wouldn't otherwise get spotlighted. I don't see why you couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Or I want to clip this out, Joe, so we got to stay on track.
I wouldn't have any need to make another sequel to this. But if you can find this, first of all, I know you can find this actually on Amazon for like 25 cents. You're going to pay more for shipping for this movie.
Yes, Cal. We got, it was her friend. If she was with her friend, they were having such a good time as, I'm not saying old, but older ladies at the cottage and having fun and, having coffee and talking. They forgot to get gas on the way back. So, yeah, they made it now.
Than you will for the movie. And I'll often buy them for friends. It's not out on Blu-ray, but there's a really good chance that this film will be put out in a Blu-ray / VOD.
Okay, we don't need to see any more. I'm going to get the cheapest version I can for review. So that